The letter that didn't get through. The story of Nurse Evelyn Clark. A young woman in a washed-out white coat stands at the entrance to a tent at a field hospital. In the background is a wrecked army truck with a barely visible red cross. Her hair, gathered under a headscarf, is falling out in strands, and her face is covered in soot and bruises. She clutches a folded piece of paper in her hands, and her gaze is directed somewhere into the distance, beyond the horizon, where guns are rumbling. We treated the enemies we hated and the friends we lost. Evelyn Clark from Boston was 24 years old when she voluntarily went to Europe after completing nursing courses. In her bag was a family Bible, a photo of her younger brother, who died in Pearl Harbor, and a stack of envelopes with victory stamps. She wrote to her mother every week, but one letter, dated December 18, 1944, remained in her notebook. Ardennes, Belgium. The German offensive took them by surprise. The hospital, housed in a dilapidated church, was bombed 3 times during the night. Evelyn recalled how, by the light of a kerosene lamp, she amputated the leg of an 18-year-old soldier while plaster was falling from the ceiling. He begged me to find his mother in Ohio and tell her that he had not chickened out. Then he died clutching a cross. That night, she wrote in an unsent letter, "Mom, I don't believe in God anymore. He's not here." When the Germans broke through to the village, the wounded had to be hidden in the basement. Evelyn and 2 other nurses stayed with them, covering the entrance with the dead horse's corpse. "We shared 1 bar of chocolate and sang Silent Night to drown out the moans," she later said. There, in the pitch darkness, she thought for the first time, what if she gave up? But when the American tanks arrived at dawn, she was already bandaging a German teenager with a fractured spine. "His eyes were like my brother's. I couldn't leave him." Evelyn returned home in May 1945. At the train station, her mother met her with a bouquet of roses, but she could not hug her. Her daughter recoiled as if from a blow. That same night, she burned her robe and uniform in a barrel in the yard. "The smoke smelled exactly like in the Ardennes," she wrote in her diary. She got a job teaching biology at a girls' school. She wore long-sleeved blouses to hide the burns from the phosphorus bomb and flinched at the sound of the bell. It resembled a siren. No one knew that there was a bronze star in her desk drawer, which she received for saving 17 people under fire. "Rewards are for the dead. They only remind the living how much you couldn't save," she said once, accidentally mentioning it. The last letter in 2010, 90-year-old Evelyn, already wheelchair-bound, agreed to an interview for a school project. In the frame, her wrinkled hands are holding the same yellowed piece of paper from 1944. "I still haven't sent it," she whispered, "but now I understand. God was there. He looked at us through the eyes of that German boy, and he cried." A week after the shooting, Evelyn was gone. The medal was placed in her coffin, and the unsent letter was burned, fulfilling the last request. "Let the smoke mix with what remains of the war."